Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. I am your host, Tiffany Cohen, and today we are going to talk about the what if. And this is something that I really just started honing in on and talking about. Also, we're going to talk about today this 1% rule. And I learned this a really long time ago. And it's something that really stuck with me and proved to be true. However, as I always do, I made it mine, right? And I put my own spiritual spin on what that is. And maybe you've heard of the 1% rule. And if you have, that's great. We are definitely going to put more of a soulful spin on it for you, for sure, if that's something that didn't maybe resonate with you or whatever it might be. Or maybe it did resonate with you, but you're finding it hard to maintain. And we're going to get into everything, but I want you to understand that in this podcast episode, there's going to be a little bit of tough love here as well. Okay. But it's also going to be a soft, tough love, if that makes any sense. It does to me. So let's talk about what all of this is. So what if? What if? I love thinking in terms of what if because it really allows you to dream. But I found for some that when I ask you to dream, let's say in classes or maybe on podcast episodes, when I ask you to dream, it's a little bit hard for you to do that. And I get it, right? I get why. And it's because we sometimes have a worthiness issue around ourselves and our bigness and what is possible or what we are capable of. And for some, it's like anxiety inducing. I've seen because it's overwhelming to think about all of the things that you are perceiving in this moment when you think about the future and all of the things that you will have to do in order to maybe get to a goal or to have the dream that you want to have. It's a little bit like overwhelming. Like, how am I going to get all this done? Or you start telling yourself a story of how it's not possible. And, this is something that, we can talk about maybe in increments, and this is where the 1% really comes in. But I want you to start to allow yourself, no matter what, no matter how you're feeling, I really want you to start to allow yourself to ask you, what if? What if you did go for the things that you wanted? And I want you to look at it not just at goal oriented in the fact of like, do you want a business or do you want to run a marathon? And I want you to look at it with those also. But I also want you to look at like, do you want to be more patient with your kids? Like, is that something that you're striving for? Do you want to create a workout fitness regimen for yourself? Do you want to start eating healthier? Do you want to make time and space for your spiritual practice? Do you want to get more ritualized? Do you want to take more classes at Spirit and Soul? Do you want to, whatever it is, right? What are the daily things that you want to do? Do you want to drink more water? Okay. And I want you to allow yourself to dream about what those things look like too. And I feel like we don't allow ourselves to do that. We don't allow ourselves to dream about the smaller things that in life, the more mundane things that we know we need to do, like drink water consistently and be hydrated. Okay. That's definitely one of my things that is on my list, but I definitely don't sit and manifest that I am a hydrated person, right? I'm manifesting big things. But what if we did? What if we did look at life? What if, right? What if we did look at life and start to manifest even the smaller things, right? If we know, and we talk about this all the time, if we know that we create our reality, we're not just creating it in the big things, we're creating it in the small things that we think are mundane, but actually add up to making us feel really good. So what if you started asking yourself these questions? What if you started really small? And for some of you, this may feel really, really great. And for some of you, like me, this may feel like you really have to do the work and almost like dial it in. on purpose. Like you really have to think about these things. But it's important. It's important for you to ask yourself the what if questions and then also have grace as well. But then also not let yourself off the hook a lot. So there is a delicate balance of actually making these things come to fruition or these things a reality. Okay. But you also you really do need some grace with yourself on some of these things. So what I like to do is, and I learned this a long time ago. So like, how do you do this? Right. So a long time ago, I learned when I was food blogging on a podcast. I think it was the Food Blogger podcast, which I used to love. And the host, who I can't think of his name, but he said he taught about the 1% rule. And that is that if you just do 1%, if you get better at something, just 1% every day, then like think about how much better you'll be, let's say at the end of the year, right? Or at the end of a 6-month period, like how much better, even if you just focused on 1%. And I think a lot of times we're like, I am going to be hydrated. That is my goal. And then you set out to drink gallons of water. That's not realistic from you were just completely dehydrated. Like, let's be real, sister. Those gallons of water are not going to go down easy. And you're not going to do it. Okay. You're going to be carrying around this big water jug for no reason, just pissing yourself off that you really didn't drink what you should have drank. Or maybe you did it for a day and then and you were hydrated for a day and the next day you fell off the wagon, right? And it's because we put the pressure on ourselves to be the dream when we have the inception of the dream. So we're like, I am going to be so hydrated. I'm going to feel so good. I'm going to drink X amount of water a day. And then you just go balls to the wall. Like, I'm going to do this. And then what happens? You fall off. Okay. The 1% rule kicks in by saying, if I can just drink a little more water today, I would feel better. And if I could just drink a little bit more, I can add that in and then drink a little 1% more the next day and 1% more the next day. Then by the end of the week, I'll be so much more hydrated, right? So these bite-sized pieces of steps towards a goal. Now, if you can do a little bit more, do a little bit more. But notice how I said a little bit. Again, we don't want to push ourselves too far. We have to remember that again, law of attraction, right? If we are not vibrating at the frequency, I don't know why I'm using this. Maybe I am dehydrated and that's why, but I don't know why I'm using this example. But if you are not vibrating at the frequency of an extremely hydrated person, that's not going to be something that you're going to be calling in easily. It's not vibrating at your frequency yet. Okay. But a little bit more, a little bit better every day, a little bit more every day will. Suddenly you're going to be that person that is so hydrated, that is drinking a ton of water when they get up in the morning and then jumping into coffee and then carrying around their, whatever Stanley bottle, Yeti bottles, whatever they are, all throughout the day and actually drinking the water, right? Maybe you will start to become that person, but you're not going to get there overnight. So let's not kid ourselves anymore. Can we not do that anymore? We know it doesn't work. We know, it does not work. Okay. What does work is little bits every day, getting better every day. Now, let's say on your hydration journey that you forgot your water bottle at home, like the one that you've been drinking, and you're a week in and you're feeling really good and you're feeling hydrated, and then you forget your water bottle at home. Now you can go out and buy water, which you will, but you're out of your habit of drinking from that cup that you've been drinking from and knowing how much is in the cup, right? What feels good for you to stay hydrated. And you're out of your routine. Now you're out of that habit at this point. What do we do? Do we beat ourselves up about it? Do we say, forget it? And a lot of times we do. A lot of times we beat ourselves up. A lot of times that one thing will throw us off. Okay. Will throw us off our game. We'll be like, then the next day, the habit is broken. And truly, that's not what we want to do. We want to then sit there and recognize it. So really being intentional about this is going to be important, because when you can recognize and say, damn, I forgot my water bottle at home. I know I didn't drink as much as I usually do. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to put it by the front door so I don't forget it when I leave the house, right? Whatever that looks like for you. But you want to make sure that then you don't beat yourself up about it. Like, how could you do that? Now you messed it up. Now we're starting from scratch. No, you are not. Okay. Be intentional with it. And I want you to also embody still that hydrated version of you. Okay. Embody it. Okay. Envision it. See it. Okay. If let's say you wanted a workout, you wanted to really like start working out, which is something I know that so many people fall off, including myself. And we really have to, again, like start like, okay, well, I'm going to start doing, you're not just going to go an hour on the treadmill when you haven't worked out in 5 months. Okay. No. Start small, because that hour you're going to be dreading it. 15 minutes though, sounds like a nice bite-sized piece, right? Sounds like something that you could say, okay, you know what? I could do 15 minutes, and maybe I'm going to do 15 minutes tomorrow, but then maybe I'm going to add in like a 5-minute stretch beforehand and after, or maybe I'm going to add in like a 5-minute arms, or right, fill in the blanks, whatever it looks like for you, where you start to really build up to something that feels good for you, the version of you that is, loves to feel good, loves, like they feel good when they work out. And that's what you want to be doing, right? Whatever the thing is, whatever the things are, I want you to start to dream about the what if you gave 1%. What if you allowed yourself to get 1% better each day, and not beat yourself up on the days that you, let's say, fell off or didn't do it, but that the next day you jump back on. Okay. The next day. So we're not giving grace over and over and over and over again. And now you have a month worth of grace and zero work. Okay. So that's where I'm saying that the tough love kind of comes in. I think what happens is, in this society, okay, we get a little lenient. We get very lenient with ourselves, because we're like, oh, we're too hard on ourselves. So now we have to go in the extreme opposite direction. Like, if we're so hard on ourselves, now we have to be extremely lenient with yourself. And it's like, no, you have to find the happy medium of not being too hard on yourself, but also not letting yourself off the hook all the time. I definitely have experienced, friends in my life, family members in my life that are so lenient, like, and then that they're so lenient with themselves, and then it rubs off on you. Like, you're like, oh, but you needed rest for 3 weeks. And it's like, no, I didn't. I needed rest for like a day, maybe 2, but not for 3 weeks that I didn't do all of these things that I was supposed to do. And that's completely how we don't get better at anything that we want. And we start to not, and again, all of these things add up. So we start to not live into the best version of ourselves when we're not allowing ourselves to give that extra 1%, to learn that extra 1% every single day. Now, what I'm going to say to you is this. Like, I love those memes where it's like, do I love them? I don't know. I mean, there's so much truth behind them, but where it's like, you're trying to do all the things, like drink the water, be patient with the kids, do all the laundry, do all the run around, be healthy, be fit, eat right, and it's like all of those things that you're supposed to be doing in like a day. And it's, when you look at it like that, yeah, sure, it's overwhelming. Just like I was saying before, like that feeling of like, oh my God, I have all these things to do. But what I want you to do is focus again on like 1-2 things max that you really want to start to shift. Now, if the highest and best version of you eats right, eats clean, has like a workout routine, does your spiritual rituals, and is patient with the kids and like all these things, if that highest and best version of you is that, and you are nothing like that person now, you have to work to get there. But don't pick every single thing to do. I know you want to. I know we want to just say like, this is the highest and best version of me, and that's what I'm going to start doing. You're going to set yourself up for failure. Okay. More than likely, you're already doing a few of the things that make you feel really good. Okay. So maybe you keep such like a beautiful, clean, neat house, and that feels really, really good to you, but you're falling off in the hydration area, or and in maybe bringing a dream to life, right? You're falling off of the wagon on a couple of those things. Okay. No problem. Pick one. Pick one and just start to make that one shift and start to make those habits and start to get better, at least a minimum of 1% every single day. Okay. You will see that it takes 30 days for something to become a habit. It takes 90 days for something to become a part of who you are. Okay. So if you start to create a habit after 30 days, and you got 1% better after those 30 days, like imagine how far you are already at the end of that month when you've already built a habit. How much better are you? Now it's starting to become a part of who you are. 90 days, okay? It's 90% part of who you are. Don't quote me on math, okay? If you join the live sales, but let's just say, right, at the end of 90 days, you've gotten 1%, at least 1% better every day. It's a part of who you are now. Now your hydration is part of who you are. Now working out, now practicing a little bit more patience every day is part of who you are. And it's really hard to make the shift out of something that has become part of who you are. Think about your bad habits. Those took time too to build. A bad habit takes the same amount of time. It becomes part of who you are after 3 months of you consistently practicing it. And then how long does it take to break that habit, right? It's going to take yourself time to unwind that habit as well. So if we want to wind up some good habits, start to allow yourself to incrementally go higher and higher and higher. And as you're feeling good in your efforts, you're going to raise your vibration. Your vibration is going to be higher and closer to that highest and best version of you. Now you've just tackled one thing. Now you are hydrated. You are a hydrated person. Congratulations. It's been 90 days. It is a part of who you are. Keep it going. Okay. And now take on another thing. Now go back for something else. See what happens in life and in entrepreneurship as well. And any entrepreneur that's listening to this gets this. We want to do all the things. We have all the ideas and we want to do all the things and we want to do them all right now. Unfortunately, and I have learned this the hard way, that is not how it works. And that is not setting yourself up for success. What's setting yourself up for success is allowing yourself to pick a thing and take it to the finish line. Okay? Pick one thing, take it to the finish line, go back for the rest. So now, let's say hydration, check. We're good there. Now what I want to start doing is, and I started a little bit, maybe let's say working out. Okay, so now I want to start adding in some movement. So now I'm starting to work out, and now I've gone back for this one, and I'm creating a new habit. Okay, new habit. Now we've taken that to 90 days. Okay, it's become a part of who we are. Every day we're doing some kind of movement, whether it's a full-on workout or a walk or just something that gets the body moving. Beautiful. Now you have two things that got you closer to becoming the highest and best version of yourself, the things that you wanted to do. Now let's say you're going back for practicing patience. This is an interesting one because when it comes to patience, how do you quantify that? Right? If you're a more patient person, how do you quantify patience? And the thing is, it's not like you have to actively do something, right? Like you actively drink water, you actively create time to work out. when it comes to something like that, you have to look for the moments where patience is required. And then how did you respond instead of react in those moments? Okay. There is, and I don't know what movie it's from or what show it's from, but it's like Lauren Graham and Morgan Freeman. And he says in there, I think it had to do with patience, actually, now that I think about it. Like, if you're asking for patience, do you think that God is going to give you patience, or do you think that God is going to give you the opportunity to choose patience? And that right there is another habit as well, right? To choose patience or to choose love or to choose forgiveness in the times where it's easier to choose otherwise, where maybe your habit is in a different area, right? Your habit is flying off the handle rather than choosing patience. And it's not just going to be with your children, okay? It's going to be in all areas of your life. So maybe in driving, maybe in your daily interactions with people, where you would normally feel yourself, like your heart like kind of start to get a little tight when you're trying to practice patience and like it's not working. um, and then it's how you respond in that way and how present you are to saying, okay, this is this is a moment where I can practice patience, or this is a moment where I can breathe through it, or this is a moment where I can really practice gratitude because this thing is getting me down. Whatever it might be, okay, for you, whatever that goal is for you, I want you to start to understand that, like, it's not just about the things that you do and create time and space for actively, physically. It's also the emotional things as well that are going to help you to get to that space in your life where you're feeling like you're meeting that highest and best version, or at least you're a little closer. And I want you to look for, when it comes to things like patience or practicing more love or self-love or self-control, where it's going to come in the form of a test, not in the form of making time and space for. There are things that can help you with that, right? Like meditation will help you with that. Meditation will very, very easily help you with getting to that space where you can breathe into it and getting to that space where you're like, okay, this really isn't a big deal, because when you meditate, you're calming your nervous system, right? So, and when someone's getting on your nerves or something is getting on your nerves, it's kind of all right, it's literally in there. It's on your nerves. It's creating a feeling inside of you where you're either like fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Maybe it's not like a fight or flight feeling, but maybe it is. Maybe like a sound of something really bothers you or whatever it might be. Like, I'm a person that hates like noises, like chewing loud and things like that. Like, so when I hear them, I am like, I have to breathe. I have to breathe through because it bothers me so badly. So, but I've definitely gotten better for sure. I have, because I've practiced the patience, at least tried to practice the patience around it, and I've definitely gotten better. So all of these things, though, are going to add up to you creating the reality that you want to see within you, right? A lot of times we really talk about, what does the reality around us look like? How does it feel? What does it feel like? And we're talking about maybe some material things, right? Or some, a relationship style things. But what we don't really tap into a lot of the time is, what is that doing for you internally? How do you feel internally? What are you doing for you? And like those little mundane things that we don't give enough time to, right? That we just say like, I want to drink more water. I want to, I don't know, workout routine. That's like the easiest one that comes to mind. And it can literally be in anything. So I want you to allow yourself the time and the space to dream. I want you to eat about the small things, not just the big things. And I want you to allow yourself the time and space to choose one to start going for today. You can start right now. You don't have to wait till Monday. You don't got to wait till Monday. And you certainly don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can start right now, right this minute. So what is that? What does that look like for you? I would love to hear about what you are going to start with. What is the one what if, right? So if mine is water. Maybe that's why I keep bringing it up, but mine is drink more water. So what if I drank an entire Yeti cup, like I have the giant one? What if I drank one whole one today? How would I feel? What if I did that? And then start going towards it. Sonia Choquette, she always talks about it. If you don't follow her, she's so great. And she always talks about the what ifs. And it's just allowing yourself that time to dream, that time to say, okay, well, what if things worked out for me exactly the way I wanted? What if I was able to feel really good in my body? What if I was able to bring a dream to life, bring a business to life that I've always wanted to do, right? So what if? Allow yourself to go there, allow yourself to ask those questions, and then start small to go towards them. 1% every day, 1% every day, okay? And don't take on everything at once. You will fail. You will, because it's too much. It's overwhelming. Let's be realistic with ourselves. It is overwhelming. So pick one thing. I would love to hear what that one thing is so I can cheer you on. And here's the thing too. I just want to make this little side note, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but it is my opinion. If you need an accountability person or accountability group, you do not want it enough. All right? I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. If you need an accountability group, an accountability person, you do not want the thing enough. Okay? Reason being is that if you wanted it, you would go for it. Now, you can have a celebratory person that celebrates with you, okay? That celebrates your milestones, that celebrates you going for the thing. But it's not a person to say, hey, I need you to hold me to this. I need you to make sure, because if your why is not strong enough, if somebody else needs to hold you accountable, okay? You need to hold yourself accountable. You need to have some grace every now and then, but not all the time, and not letting yourself off the hook all the time. Okay. So if you feel like, all right, I'm going to do this thing, but like I need to find an accountability person, I'm going to ask you to sit back and question if that's really the thing that you want to go for first. Okay. Because I don't think that your why is strong enough if you need somebody to tell you to do it. Hey, did you do this today? Hey, did you do this today? No. You need to be asking yourself that. Okay. So pick a thing, pick a celebratory person. Okay. Or create a little group. You can create a little Instagram group and allow yourself that time and space to dream. Allow yourself to go for those things 1% every day. And let me know what the thing is that you are going for that has a nice, strong why behind it. Okay. So that I can celebrate you as well. All right. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. And I will see you next week.